Good morning, everybody. It's Barb Katie here. Happy Monday again. It's a gorgeous day. The color here has been outstanding in West Virginia. Soon the frost will come and the leaves will fall. But for right now, we are just having a glorious celebration of color in this most favorite season of mine. What I'd like to talk to you about today actually coincides with my blog. I don't often talk about the same topic on the same day, but serendipitously, both are covering an area I thought it would be good for all of us to think about and discuss. And so from the area of the country in which I grew up, we have a saying called chew the fat. And basically what that means is we're going to take time to just relax and talk with each other a little bit. And what I'd like to discuss with you today is something that I have observed throughout probably 99% of my life. And that is things are subject to change without notice. You think you got a plan, you think you've got all your bases covered, and all of a sudden, kapowing, everything changes. And you've got choices to make when things change, right? And I always try, whenever things like that happen, to try to respond as opposed to reacting. I consider responding to be much more helpful for me than just reacting whatever to the plans. And let me give you an illustration. As some of you may know, I had a high school reunion coming up that was really significant, that I was truly looking forward to enjoying with fellow classmates. And we had made plans to get together this last weekend and enjoy some fellowship and recall fond memories and reacquaint ourselves with each other, because you don't always stay in touch as you think you're going to when you graduate from high school. Everybody tends to go their own separate ways, and life happens, and you sometimes move into different areas. But at any rate, we were really looking forward to it. And because I had been in Milwaukee doing some things, I was on a fairly tight schedule, but I had things planned. I had things lined up that were just going to happen in a certain way, and it was going to make it possible for me to get home in time to attend all of the activities that were planned for our high school reunion. And Rick had been really helpful, as well as the board had been very helpful in adjusting their plans to help me attend this special activity. So the day came, and I go to the airport with my little suitcase in hand, and I'm thinking about all the different people I'm going to see that I've been in touch with before the reunion actually happened. I met my cousin at the airport. She was going to travel with me and go to the reunion as well. And things were just going hunky-dory, and everything was lovely. And all of a sudden, computer problems happened for the airline on which we were traveling, and everything shut down. Over 700 flights that day were canceled. We actually were going to go nowhere. That was our destination, nowhere. We were going to stay in place, which was precisely not what I had planned. It was not what I had anticipated, nor was it what I was looking forward to. But there it was. It was a fact of life. My plans were subject to notice, to change without notice, absolutely. And I had choices to make at that point in time. And I watched the people around me in the terminal, because I wasn't the only person on the plane. There were a lot of people impacted by this. Some of the people got really, really angry, and they began to rant and rave. They did what I call reacted. And I thought, well, that's not really helping anybody a whole heck of a lot. I'll bet you that gate agent in no way wanted to inconvenience you just in this particular way and change your plans to wherever your final destination was. I bet when he woke up this morning, that was not what he said to himself at all. Let me see how miserable I can make these people and how much I can inconvenience their lives. So I sort of sat back in my chair and watched and listened and um, tried to develop a plan of action that might facilitate what I wanted. And what I wanted was to be able to get home in time to change suitcases and drive the 3 hours I needed to drive to be able to spend times with friends from high school. That's what I wanted, and that was what still my goal was, to achieve that. So I looked at what I could do and what I could not do. I remained flexible. And I think that's really critical anytime plans change, is you need to remain flexible and determine a new course of action. Again, you need to remain adaptable. You may not get exactly what you want, but you might get something that helps you move closer to what your ideal target originally was. Again, what could I do and what could I not do to enhance my chances of meeting this original goal? This was really, really important to me. And then I thought, I just have to keep after this. There's got to be a way. I cannot let this be the final result, the final outcome. We still have options here. So I guess the last thing was tenacity. I needed to really be persistent in pursuing and achieving the goal that I had set for myself, which was to attend this class reunion. Again, do I respond? Do I react? What's going to get me closer to what I want to do? And that brings in mind then the blog that happened to post today. And sometimes I write these blogs in advance. And it never ceases to amaze me that when a blog gets published, it actually helps me probably as much, if not more than, some of the other people that may read it, because it's reflecting on an experience I am having in the moment. And my cooler head was writing that blog. I was not in the middle of the chaos, the trauma, the change, whatever, when I wrote the blog. I was thinking rationally and methodically and looking at best options instead of just reacting with a knee jerk to whatever was happening around me. So when I read the blog, and it had to do with how you handle challenges, and I referenced a movie in there, Miss Congeniality, that had brought this topic to mind. And I found that it really applied to this situation, because what I did was try to stay proactive in what I was attempting to do and to maintain a positive perspective throughout it. Eventually, through a convoluted system of efforts, I managed to get to my class reunion. Now, it was not perfect, but it was wonderful. First of all, I met 5 new friends in the journey to find a way to get home. And these were fellow travelers who shared an Uber with me to a hotel we were staying in for the night, because we had to spend the night in Chicago. We could not get out. The flights were all canceled. These were wonderful people that shared the same approach to this problem that I did. They were proactive, and they were positive. And we made the best of what was a very challenging situation together. And it was so helpful to have them going along for the ride with me. And we talked about it as we traveled, about what we could do, what our next steps would be, how we would handle the impact of the disruption in the timeline, because all it was an interruption in the timeline for all of us, which was important for us to keep in mind that it was going to still happen, even though it was going to be delayed and perhaps somewhat different because of the delay. So that was a really positive thing. My class and the class that preceded me, which was impacted by COVID, I had planned a special event that I was going to miss, just for the two groups. And I thought, well, that's really a bummer, because I probably knew those kids more than anybody else that I went to high school with. And so I thought, well, silly goose, you have the technology right on your phone. You can zoom in to your class reunion. And so I texted my girlfriend that also had a cell phone and knew how to use Zoom. And I said, could you Zoom me in tonight when everybody gets together? Because I'm going to miss the reunion. And I told her why, or that part of the reunion. And she said, well, sure, I can do that. So I actually virtually got to see and be with my friends. It was just such a wonderful thing. No, I could not physically hug anybody. I could not be there in person to share the meal with them, but I could enjoy all the activities that evening with all these people who I had so looked forward to spending some special time with. So that was just absolutely wonderful. When the morning dawned, I got up, I got on the plane, we flew home, we repacked, got in the car, and drove the 3 miles to my little hometown in the mountains. And I was there then in time to enjoy the all-class reunion with every class from my high school from 1945 through 1985. It was just an incredible experience to be with all these people. Some had gone to school with my mom and her brothers and sisters. Some I had gone to school with, and some had gone to school with my nieces and nephews. It was just an absolutely incredible, delightful, wonderful time. And had I not been flexible, adaptable, and tenacious, and kept a positive attitude about this whole experience, I would have not probably been able to be there with them. Was it everything that I hoped for? Yes, it was. It was everything I hoped for, plus so much more. Being able to zoom in was something I never anticipated I would need to do, but boy, was I grateful that I had the technology, and so did one of my friends, to make this happen in the moment, to enrich the experience for us. So yes, I guess the message is plans are subject to change without notice. But that doesn't mean they can't be handled in a proactive and positive way that benefits the goal that we want to achieve and leads us in the direction we want to go. So, my message for today is be flexible, be adaptable, be tenacious in pursuing the course of action you have outlined for yourself, and always enjoy the journey in the moment as it occurs. I made 5 new friends over the weekend. In my book, That is a true win. You have an absolutely great day. Enjoy your Monday, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.